right, it is Wednesday, March 14th, 2018. This is the monthly meeting of the Urbana Human Relations Commission. It is 5:34 p.m. Can we have a roll call, please?
Frances Rigberg Baker.
Here.
Carol Bradford.
Here.
Lisa Mosley.
Here.
Daniel Larson.
We're going to wait the minute and a half it takes Daniel to come and say here. You were faster than we thought. You were calling names.
Daniel Larson.
Here.
Catalina Thomas.
Here.
Peter Resnick.
Here.
Stacy Burnett. Lolita Dumas.
Here.
Samuel Bindum. Brianna Donald.
And I believe I can declare the quorum and then hand the gavel back to Dan. Welcome.
Alrighty. Looking over tonight's agenda, are there any additions, edits, corrections to be made? If not, is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve.
Second.
Discussion? Anything? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you. Looking over the minutes from our February 14th meeting, are there any additions, edits, or corrections, or can we have a motion to approve?
Move approval.
I second.
Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Our next item of business is public participation. Seeing none, hearing none, we can move on to old business. And we have the statement Fran took a lead on regarding the Suburban Express situation from last fall, winter. So, Cecilia.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge that we do have a guest in our audience. That his name is Ben, and he is from the News Gazette. And Ben, I think, is particularly interested in this subject matter that we're discussing now. I took the liberty, and I don't know if you have, everybody has a copy
We do.
of making just a minor change in the language to reflect that the discrimination appears to exist, not necessarily making an emphatic statement that it does exist. And
The question is condoning, really, but we could even say appears to condone or reflect
Yes.
discrimination, something like that, because the problem is it isn't discriminatory per se, but it is the implications about discrimination that are problematic.
so you're suggesting that we add appears to condone.
And reflect?
Okay.
Anybody?
Appears to condone discrimination
Okay.
and raises the question. Seems like a good formulation.
Okay. Okay, so I'll read that sentence. Therefore, we do hereby, one, publicly state our view that the advertisement in question appears to condone discrimination and raises the question, ... Rest of paragraph. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent correction. Any other suggestions, observations, questions, suggested edits? Well, thank you, Fran. I think we can, is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve this statement and to approve it and have it represent our views on this matter publicly.
And do we have a second?
I second.
One last chance for discussion. Just want to make sure everyone has a chance to. But if not, we can then, I believe, move to approve the HRC statement regarding Suburban Express. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Excellent. Again, thank you, Fran. We have no new business, so we can jump right to staff report. Vasilia, we turn it over to you.
Okay, let's see here. Just very quickly, let's start with the activity report, and then we'll go back to the EEO workforce stats. In terms of activities, since we last met, there were two issues that arose. Number one, the case that I had taken back in December regarding an FMLA issue, the young lady has withdrawn her complaint with the city simply because in reading the language in our ordinance, it's difficult to justify that we had jurisdiction. So she'll be filing with the Department of Labor. And the other matter that came up, and actually Todd Brent handled this particular issue because I was out of the office, but there was some concern of a young gentleman who works for an organization who had been laid off, and he had some questions and concerns about his separation package. And that's, of course, outside of our area of authority. So suggestions were made that perhaps he might want to pursue legal advice either via Land of Lincoln or some other private type of attorney. So that's pretty much it for an activity report.
All righty.
And
Should we look to the EEO information next?
yes,
Awesome. Looks like we got 5 new applications and 2 renewals. Mm-hmm. Just to get us started. As always, we have wonderful staff recommendations in the second to last column. Would anyone like to move to get forward a discussion or start discussion? I don't want to. Boy, it looks like 4 of our new applications kind of fall below our threshold.
in terms of total
Yeah,
employees.
sorry,
Yes.
as far as size, excuse me. And the fifth is not much bigger, but there are some issues.
Well,
Peter.
how about this? At least for purposes of discussion, I'll move that we approve, as per staff recommendations, Grunlow for 1 year, Atkinson for 2 years, McDowell for 2 years, English Brothers for 2 years, Fire Apparatus and Supply Team for 2 years, MSA Professional Services for 1 year, and Growmark for 2 years, and Growmark for 1 year. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
I second.
Alrighty. Discussion, questions, observations?
I guess the only question I had was on MSA. They're still below our threshold of 20, is it? Mm-hmm. Okay. How did we do that last year then? Oh, maybe it was 15
It is
was our
15,
threshold. Okay, and last year it was 18, so barely above, and now it's down to 15 and so below. Got it.
Not here to make more work for Vasilia. Would we want language in the letter saying, hey, we know you're a small company, but we're concerned, or are you concerned? I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Peter.
The numbers are obviously lousy, but they're not significantly differently lousy than they were last time. And they lost 3 employees, so there's always that question. Oh, no, they gained. No, they lost. MSA Professional Services lost 3 employees, and so in the process of losing 3 employees, can we expect them to do better on diversity numbers and, and especially since they've gone down below the threshold?
Yep.
I think that's the best we're going to be able to do. I mean, you can always drop them the, do you need any assistance comment, but I think that's really about it.
Gotcha. Others?
Yeah, I would just second that maybe just as a kind of standard procedure to include just please work on your diversity efforts, even if they do fall behind, below our threshold, just because some of these, especially depending on their location where, you would think that they would have at least one person, they have none. So I think just as a standard procedure, I would include it.
That's not a problem.
Fran, Carol?
I have a
Lisa.
question about Growmark. Are we still on MS, oh, sorry.
No,
Are we still on MSA or,
wherever you want to go.
okay, so Growmark, I just, they were previously certified for 6 months, now we're recommending a year. They increased their staff by 6.
Or the other way, they lost
Oh,
6.
they
yes.
lost 6?
Yeah.
Okay, because the top one is the current year.
Correct.
So it shows that they lost one person that would fall in the minority category, which was a woman. Everything is still 0, and they're still at 2%. So I guess my question is there a reason we're giving them a year now? Or, and also, has there been any communication with them? Have they sent us anything back in? And I apologize, I did not get a chance to look at our little
That's okay.
packet, because I'm
Growmark is an interesting company, and it does seem completely illogical that we would give them 6 additional months, and their numbers aren't very much better. But they're the company that came before the commission
okay, yes.
and made that presentation and kind of
remember
gave us
that.
an explanation of how the
why.
challenges that they face trying to recruit for their types of positions. And so, certainly we could give them 6 months, but I don't really think that's the
That's enough.
solution for Growmark. So they're not horribly worse. So I discussed it with Monique, and we kind of decided that they showed some good faith effort in coming forward to the commission and was very forthcoming. And so we thought a year would be reasonable.
Okay, thank you for refreshing my memory, because I knew someone had came and talked with us, I just couldn't remember who. And I think we've had this discussion more than once over the years about, is 6 months really enough time to make changes? So,
Lisa?
So I'm looking at these numbers, and what I do remember her saying is this is not necessarily, so Growmark is FS.
Yes.
Illini FS.
Yes.
Which is just down the street on Main Street. So I know they have a good pool of minorities to choose from. And she did explain some of the jobs require, licensure and things like that. But some of them don't. Are these the accurate numbers for that site?
Urbana, no.
We still don't have the right numbers.
Correct.
See, I'm having a problem with that.
Okay.
Only because we really can't.
Parse out.
Yep. But other than that, I think there was a letter included from Growmark to us saying thank you for working with us, and I applaud that. I still just would like to see our current, Urbana numbers, not the state or region or whatever. And I think she knew that day. So that's my only point.
They do have Urbana numbers in the application. So they're not significantly better, but they're not significantly worse. So total employees, they have 36 total male
Okay.
employees working on the Urbana part of it, 14 female, 2 black male employees, and none of the rest of the categories.
Okay.
So the 2 African-American employees that are on the sheet here
Yes.
are local folks.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Thanks for the numbers, Pete.
yeah, I'm
And-
glad they included them. That's
Yes.
good.
That's helpful. I know some of their work is seasonal, and I do also think that they could still keep working, but that's my only comment on the stats.
Well, perhaps I can put some language in their letter indicating that we appreciate their good faith efforts. We are still concerned, however, but we, as a commission, have decided to give them a 1-year certification, and
That sounds good.
Peter, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry.
Along the lines that we were talking about there, maybe in the future, we do want to reserve 6 months for either something that has changed significantly or a new one that is way below the mark. That if we've done a review, we've said 6 months, and unless we're convinced that something has gone wrong, that mostly staff reserve 6 months for something needs to change right now, because either something has gotten much worse or, this is the first time we've seen them and they look like they need help. Whereas if we've worked with them, we haven't seen too much progress, but it's only been 6 months, going for a year and seeing if they make more progress, I think is a fine
That makes
default.
sense. Okay.
Lolita, sorry.
And I was just going to add, Cecilia, again, I want to echo what Carol said. I appreciate you refreshing our memory about the presentation. One of the things that she also said as well is that she was going to reach out to Parkland in terms of some of the things that they do. And I think with us renewing it for a year, I think the language to take back is to say, we're showing our good faith as well, and that when we see you in a year, we would like to know what those efforts yielded.
Yeah.
So that way, there's that accountability. You showed us a good faith. We're giving you that year, and we want to know what did your efforts to Parkland yield, or what did your efforts to U of I, because they mentioned the U of I as well. So if it's not quote unquote off a prospect that you're getting people, what people within the community are you getting? So that way, it's a back and forth accountability of you said you were going to do this. How many people did you actually get?
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Well, could we ask them for like a status report? Like, we're giving you 1 year, but we would like a status report in 6 months of like, what are those efforts? Just like, instead of waiting an entire year to hear what they're doing, hear about it a little bit sooner than that.
We could.
We could open the door for that, at least to them, and say, we'd like to know, we don't have to require it, but if you have some interesting things to report to us, we'd be happy to hear, advise, blah, blah, blah.
I think it's brilliant. I mean, frame it as a partnership. We're working with you. Please, please let us know how what you guys have done, and is there anything we can do to help you along those lines.
Okay.
Other comments, questions, thoughts on these, our EEO workforce statistics for the month? If not, then I do believe we have a motion on the floor. Do we need to repeat it, or? Okay. Yeah, we're following staff recommendations. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you all. Thank you. All right, Vasilia, budget?
Well,
Or no, excuse me, sorry. Didn't mean
Before
to-
we move to budget.
Didn't mean to get ahead.
It is 2 brief announcements that I'd like to make, and then Monique will do the budget, and Preston has some information he wants to share. I wanted to let you know that on Tuesday, March 20th, there's going to be a community forum at ILEAS. Are you guys familiar with where ILEAS is? It's the old nursing home, I believe.
Yep.
It's 1701 East Main Street, and it's going to be a candidates forum of the finalists for our city administrator position. So, and it starts at 6 o'clock. So if any of you are available, I would encourage you to stop in. It's probably not going to last more than an hour, hour and a half, and kind of get a feel of the candidates that we have slated for this position. There will be a Q&A, and I believe it will be set up kind of like how the League of Women Voters do their candidates forums, where questions will be asked and they'll take turns answering those questions. And so, what time is that again? 6 p.m.
Awesome, thank you.
And the last thing is that the IMRA conference that I had mentioned to you guys last month, has been rescheduled for the fall, so it will not be next month. It'll be sometimes either September or October. But save-a-date cards are going to go out, and so I will get more information to you as it becomes available. And
Thank you.
That's it for me.
There are currently no changes in the budget.
Great, thank you. Preston? We all got it, yep. Thank you.
Check, all right. So what I'm here to talk about is on April 7th of this year, from 9 to 2 at Vineyard Church, there will be a Disability Resource Expo. I don't know if it's... And in this expo, we're going to be involved. We have a table next to the City of Champaign Human Relations Commission as well. Just a little bit of information about it. From 9 to 2, they'll have the informational booth in children's activities. So, you know, for those out there who have kids but still want to participate, they'll have activities for them. While we're manning the booths with the wonderful information that we have, they have opening remarks and a Amtrak presentation. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. TRAKE. It's AMTRYKE. I believe it's an acronym for something. At 9 o'clock, then at 10, they have Charles Joseph Smith doing some classical pianist. 11, Sounds of Music. 11:45, Kevin Elliott, a guitarist. And then it appears that Charles Joseph will take us out, and then there'll be a drawing at the end. They're going to have balloon animals and inflatables, prizes, games, and face painting, voter registration, as well as an interactive scavenger hunt game. So if any of you are available and interested, like I stated before the meeting, I would like to have some relief so that I can kind of move around. I like to mingle a little bit. Yes, ma'am.
So I've done this before. I don't think I have to do it this year for my job. So it is a wonderful thing. I go with my son who's on the autism spectrum. So I will volunteer to do 2 hours at our table on that day.
Outstanding.
Because I know he's going to want to walk around too.
Yeah, mingle.
But yeah, so maybe noon to 2. Is that
That'll work. We can work that out later.
okay?
As far as the schedule is concerned, I'm gonna be there the whole time, so just any little break will be good. So if anybody out there in the audience is interested in participating or need more information, they can contact Barb Breschner at either the phone number of 217-840-3198 or by email at bbreschner@att.net. That's BBRESSNER@att.net. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements?
I have an announcement.
Please.
Urbana Champaign Books to Prisoners is going to be having their biannual book sale fundraiser on April 14th. It's a Saturday. It's going to be from 10 to 5 a.m. And this is a fundraiser where we're selling books. What they do is that they ship books at no cost to inmates and federal and state penitentiaries. So nothing to do. Come out and buy some good books.
Sounds great. Any other announcements? All righty. Thank you all. Have a great month. We'll see you in April. Be well, and this meeting is adjourned.